Hey everybody, welcome back. Another episode with Dr. J. Q&As. My Happy Genes here for you to answer your questions about genetics and your health. Today we're going to talk about something that I would say pretty much everybody over the age of 10 concerns themselves with because it's so in the literature and in our culture, and that is cognitive decline. Who's susceptible? We know that there are many different variations, right? There's certain types of dementia. There's even certain types of Alzheimer's. There's not just one of each, right? Are we susceptible to those things because of certain genetics? Are we susceptible because of our lifestyle? Is it a combination? What should we think about this topic, Dr. J?
Yeah, it is multi-causative, but there are a couple of genes that I want to mention because they're in the literature quite a bit now. And one of them is the BDNF gene, and the other one is the ApoE4 gene, both of which are highly associated with Alzheimer's or cognitive decline. But I want you to think about it for a second. If you inherit those genetic variants, and they are 100% causative, then you would be born with cognitive dysfunction, right?
Yeah.
So what is happening? What is going on with the decline? Why is it declining? And why is it decline as we age? Something is turning those genes on. Something is triggering the cognitive dysfunction. And often we can really trace it back to mitochondrial dysfunction. And that the mitochondria is a little organelle that's inside the cells that makes energy out of our food, essentially. That's the cliff notes. But as we age and we get exposed to more toxins, chemicals, pesticides, heavy metals, etc., then our mitochondria is less and less active and can actually die and be killed off. So the less energy we have, the more these kinds of genes are going to show up, and same with cancers as well. But the BDNF gene, there's a lot of really good research showing that, yeah, it is going to increase your risk of getting Alzheimer's as you age. But there's some really good studies recently showing that there are three things you can do to prevent it. And I think they're really good ideas in general for overall health and longevity. And one is cold showers has been shown to actually increase BDNF levels, brain-derived neurotrophic factor is what that stands for. And high intensity interval training, where you run fast, run slow, run fast, run slow, get your heart rate up and down. That increases BDNF levels. And then intermittent fasting, where you go for at least 12 hours between when you stop eating dinner and when you start eating breakfast, or 13 or 14. And I would encourage you to try to go as long as you can before you start to feel bad. And again, listen to your body. If you start to go, my blood sugar is dropping and I'm getting dizzy, you've gone too far. Some people can go a long term and not feel any side effects, but those three things, the cold showers, high intensity interval training, and intermittent fasting, have been shown to really increase the BDNF levels and prevent cognitive decline as we age, which is a very cool thing.
Mhm.
The ApoE4 gene highly associated also with Alzheimer's. I haven't seen the same studies with that particular gene, but I can't imagine that they don't help with that. And again, when we look at mitochondria, some things you can do there to really protect your mitochondria. Exercise actually increases mitochondrial function. And that's a secret to longevity we've
Yeah.
known that for a very long time. Chemicals. So eating organic is a good idea because those chemicals can definitely kill mitochondria off. Antibiotics will do it because mitochondria are actually of bacterial origin many eons ago, and they're highly susceptible to damage from antibiotics, and especially fluoroquinolones like Levaquin, or what's the other one? There's another one. Anyway, some of them that are just completely kill mitochondria.
Huh.
Radiation, having your cell phone next to your head is not a good idea because it actually can kill mitochondria in your brain. Yeah, there you go.
I
Using,
never put my phone by my head. I always,
yeah, I can feel it too. And that's how,
uh,
not a good idea. Radiation, chemicals, pesticides, as I said, heavy metals can do it. Mercury, lead, aluminum. Avoiding mercury, that's looking at things like if you're eating tuna, if you're eating larger fish, they can bioaccumulate mercury. The larger the fish, the more it's going to bioaccumulate. toxins. So looking at smaller fish for eating is a better idea. And if you Google it online, you can look at mercury levels in different types of fish. For me, I really like the snappers because they don't get very big and they're so delicious. Their topic. So being careful and being proactive about these things, fluoride and chlorine can actually damage the mitochondria as well. And that I know is controversial, but there's some pretty good studies showing that does happen. So being proactive in your lifestyle, those are some simple things you can do to keep these genes from expressing and creating cognitive decline as we go. And if you've ever had or been around anybody who's got Alzheimer's, it's a terrible disease. What we can do proactively now to prevent that, I think, is a wise idea.
I'm hoping that you're going to come up with something other than the cold shower idea, because I'd rather do an extra hour of HIIT training.
That's fine. Yeah.
I start to turn the water down, 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 down. And I'm thinking I should just try a cold plunge because I've done that. Been in a sauna or something and gone cold water. I can do that, but the whole idea of standing there while the water is cold beating down on me.
Yeah, if you start with like hot and then end with a good 30 to
Yeah,
60
I've
seconds
tried.
cold, you can do that. You can't do that one either.
I wouldn't say it's cold. It's cold on me, but it's probably not what you're looking for.
Yeah. I know it's tough. It's tough. I'm allergic to cold too.
Yeah, I know you are. Look at where you live.
Yeah.
So we should take the lifestyle advice to heart. I think that we are so focused on having these diseases. People have these diseases. We see it all the time, and it's sad, but that almost makes it feel less impactful to take on the lifestyle stuff. Like this many people are going to get it. Women are more susceptible than men. There are all these statements out there, but everybody's different. So I don't want people to get complacent about doing what we can do because we feel like it's hopeless. Is really no, we don't have proof that's going to work. There is proof that these things do stave off the ravages, right? It may not prevent you forever, but what if it was a difference between you being 75 and you being 85 before you started to have dementia? I think that's a huge amount of life there.
Right. Yeah, and there's good information coming out now too about inflammation causing Alzheimer's and obviously cognitive decline. So
Inflammaging.
inflammation. Yeah, so there's a lot that you can do there too. So when you get your genes tested, you'll see those. Okay, I do have the BDNF gene or I have the ApoE4 gene. I need to get serious. And that's one of the benefits of getting your genes tested is,
Yeah.
okay, I get it now. The cold shower, I'll do it because there's your risk. And it is a very real risk factor in developing those kind of things. It's motivating.
It is motivating. And that's a good note to end on because we all have choice and we may not always be motivated, but if we think about it, you can't unhear what you just heard. So if you have a gene that says you have this risk and you have some simple little things to put into your lifestyle, that's motivating.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, people, we'll be back next week with another episode of Q&A with Dr. J. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, GC.